Enter the classroom of today. You see a Zoom screen on one side, black screens lining the entire portrait, and on the other side of the room you see students who are hunched over their Chromebooks or laptops and not speaking. It sounds ineffective at best and chaotic at worst, and unfortunately this is the reality of many American classrooms today. When posed with the question of if should United States allow students to redo their academic year because of COVID-19, the answer is a decisive yes. This is due to less than ideal home situations, rising mental health disorders among children, and finally the disadvantages that come with learning and teaching online. To start, I have multiple friends who have suffered from this year's COVID pandemic and how it's affected their schoolwork. In March, my friend was moving with her father into a new home while also doing school. My friend this year, her parents decided to not allow her to go anywhere for any reason. This made her incredibly stressed out and contributed to her mental health disorder. All of these lay a pretty bad foundation for schoolwork to begin. And this isn't exclusive to just students. According to the Office of National Statistics, 31% of adults show moderate to severe signs of stress. Another study showed that in the Hattie's effect, a study led by Dr. Jay Hattie, on the effects of various things on students' education, it showed that positive family has a positive impact of 0.52 when faced from a scale from 0 to 1, 1 being the best and 0 being negative. So this obviously had a good impact, a positive family. However, when parents are being stressed, how can they expect to not appear stressed in front of kids? The result has been disastrous and has created a cacophony in many families across America. Even for this reason alone, America should allow students to redo their academic year, as it would better reflect how America serves to respond to mental health issues and how it resolves to better fix households across America. Moving on from that, I'll be talking about mental health in children, which seems to be a rising issue in America. According to NHS England, who did a study on worldwide mental health disorders, it said that 16% of 5 to 16-year-olds have probable mental health disorders. And this is comparative to 10.9% in 2019. This drastic difference is prompted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's only gotten worse from there. 85% of students report feeling moderate to severe signs of stress. 62% report feeling bored. Now, feeling bored may not seem like a big issue, but I'll get into that later. But let's focus more on being stressed and mental health disorders. According to Mental Health America, Wisconsin ranked 45th out of 50 states for students suffering from major depressive disorder. And unfortunately, we ranked almost the exact same when treating students with this. Today, we need to focus more on the mental health of students and not their grades. And our curriculum should definitely reflect that. So that starts by allowing students to redo their academic year. Their mental health certainly shows that they are suffering as the rest of the nation is, age or not. And we need to allow them a break instead of more pushing them, because that will not solve any issues. One of my friends had depression, and no one came up to her and said, "Why didn't you just push through it? Why didn't you just keep going? Why didn't you pretend it's not happening?" But if we make students not redo this year, that's essentially what we are saying to them, to put their mental health aside and focus on grades. I don't think anyone ever said to her, "Well, did you practice your trumpet tonight?" when she said she was depressed. Instead, they asked, what can they do better? They asked if she was seeing therapy. All of these show signs that you care, and by showing students that they can redo their academic year, we are showing them that America as a whole cares. Finally, I'll be talking about the influence of boredom and working online and the negative side effects of it. So I said that 62% of students were feeling bored. Now let's take a closer look at Hattie's effect. Dr. J. Hattie was looking to study the effects of different things on education, for example, humor or corporal punishment in the home. If he got a score of 0, it meant you had a very bad impact on education. If you had a score of 1, it meant you had a fantastic impact. 0.4 was the breaker. If you got under 0.4, it was a negative effect. Above 0.4, it was a positive effect. So I mentioned previously that positive homes were 0.52 effects. So they obviously had a positive effect. And boredom had a very negative effect. It was a 0.36, and depression was slightly below. Below that was 0.49. These show how harrowing the damages of boredom and depression have on their mental health. In addition, let's not even begin to talk about all the issues with Zoom. My sharing doesn't work. I can't chat. You guys can't hear my audio, and I can't turn my share button on. But I think we all know that that's for students who really don't want to turn their camera on. Whether it's turning on cameras or sharing, the adverse side effects of online classes far outweigh the benefits. All in all, working online, combating mental health, both in yourself and at home, all pose considerable challenges to performing well in education in America this year, which is exactly why the U.S. should allow students to redo their academic year. Thank you.